Okay, welcome to the second part of my video in which I try to replace or remake some Action Man gripper hands from the early 1970s. This will be a sight familiar to anyone who collects this range of toys, where you'll see hands such as this one, where all the fingers have broken away and the plastic is just degraded to a point where it's rock hard and crumbling. Again, you can see these in many different shapes and guises. Some of them are much worse than others. Really frustrating. If you buy your later eagle-eyed toys, their rubber on their hands has fared very well. These older ones, however, are often in a state such as this. So let's try and get it back into focus. Are often in a state such as this. So this one's retained the thumb but lost all the fingers. Again, with that one, the fingers are gone, the plastic's hardened, it's not flexible or rubbery at all. I hate throwing these things out, but I'm yet to find a way you can repair them. You can replace them, of course. You can buy spare ones off eBay. I think they're about £5 plus postage. In my last video you saw my first attempt at moulding them, which was okay. In theory it worked, however it wasn't ideal because I didn't put enough rubber in the mould. This time will be different. I'm going to mix my rubber up, pop it in the mould and work it from there. So I'll be back. A set of moulds that I'm going to use for this section. It's a different mould to the one I used last time, but in theory they're all the same. You've got a hole there where you're going to inject your rubber and be very sure to put an exhaust port in, so when the air goes in it's got somewhere where it can push it all out. If you don't do that and you're not using an injector or a syringe, you'll be in serious trouble because you'll just end up with a big blob of air, which is no use to anyone. It's also worth noting on these things that you inject it with a syringe. That's important. The cheapest chips, get them off Amazon or eBay or anywhere like that. You can get a handful for £1. If you try and just tip the rubber in, it doesn't get in quick enough and it starts to thicken in the thing. Also, if you can afford one, or if you can improvise one, there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube. Try and make yourself a pressure chamber to force the air out. In this case, I'm going to vacuum pump it and hopefully suck the air out, and then I'll put it under some pressure. So I've got my little syringe ready and I'm going to make plenty liquid this time and see where we go. Hopefully we'll end up with some decent hands. Okay, so here we go. These have been moulded and they've been in for about 2 hours, so that's generally about enough. So I'm just going to take this off the first one, prise him gently open, gently does it. Can we see what's going on in here? I see an Action Man hand and I see a good Action Man hand. Let's see if, yeah, so let's lift him out if he'll come. Hopefully you can see that. Everything's intact. All the fingers, if we can pull in focus, all the fingers are there, the thumbs are there. There's a bit of flashing on it where we've injected the stuff. The wrist bit looks okay. Looks like a good hand, that. I'm pleased. So let's open the second one. I'm not 100% convinced this second one will have worked because there's a dirty great big air hole in it, but you never know. Open one mould, and again, I don't know if you can see that, but all the fingers are there. Nice detail on those. The hand actually looks complete, sitting there in its mould. We shall take it out like so. Pull him out this top bit. Oh yes, I called the last video a bit of a fail. This one, these look immaculate. I'm sorry the contrast is so bad with what we're up against, but these look like a good set of hands. Very good set of hands. I'm going to take all this flashing off, and when it's done I shall put them on somewhere where there's a bit better contrast and we can see what the final things look like. Okay, here's the hand on a surface that shows you the contrast a bit more. First thing you want to look at on this is, I don't know if you can see that, but it's the detail on the fingers. All the fingers are present and correct, and as they would have been on the original. You can even see the nail imprint on them. That is a nigh on perfect Action Man hand. These are still a little bit rubbery because they've not been out the mould that long, but the actual formation of the hand is spot on. Across the knuckle you'll see a line going down. It's actually the original moulding line, so it's an imperfection that was on the original hand if you look at them. So, but there you go, there's the detail on that that's all come out there. I'll try and zoom that in when I'm using the video editing software, but what you'll see is there's some good detail on there. What's also good about these is I've managed to mould in the original hole, so they just clip straight onto a wrist peg, so that's perfect. We look at the other one again. We'll take a look at the thumb. Perfect condition. You've got the detail on the palm of the hand, if you can see that there. You can see the line, you can see all the sculpting there, and there's the fingers, and again on those you'll be able to see the original fingernail marks. The surface of the hand, there's a patina on it that you can probably just see there. Again, that's probably the crackle marks off the original rubber. Again, we've got the hole that the wrist peg slips into. So what we've done there is managed to create a perfect or a very, very good set of Action Man hands. I've not even taken any of the rough off yet. What I have taken off I've scratched off with the fingernail, so you can see there's a little bit more odds and sods of roughness there, but very, very happy with that. It's one of them things, have a go with it. Make your own hands. You could save a lot of money. That's probably, I used 7 grams of rubber to make those, which is not a great deal in the grand scheme of things. So there we go. Action Man hands grippers by Palitoy. I've got about 200 of these Action Men that have got no hands, so this will be a great addition to those. Very, very pleased, very, very happy. Comment, like, subscribe, please. It helps me. It makes me feel good about myself. Otherwise I won't make any more videos on this kind of stuff. There we go.